Hi guys, so today I want to talk to you about Caimito, or also known as star apple. So I've got a couple of trees. One is a seedling of the old style variety, which has got more caramelly sort of flavours, and I've also got a grafted Elva, which has got a different flavour profile. Apparently they've sort of got a melony flavour to it. So these are my two star apples. Now with these, they say you can't grow them here in Melbourne. Um, I don't think it's impossible. It's definitely got its challenges. This is, when I bought this, it was a tiny, tiny little tree. Probably the size of that tiny little branch there was how big it was when I got it. And as you can see, it's very healthy. This is midwinter here in Melbourne. And it's lustering and very, very beautiful, healthy looking tree, pushing on new growth. The thing I love about these guys is just how ornamental they are, with this beautiful metallic leaf that they've got. Now this year this hasn't actually done it, but what I found, well, it has a little bit. What they do midwinter is actually shed their leaves. I've found that this one, as it's getting older and stronger, it's doing it less. But usually when they get cold, they sort of wilt, and then the leaves drop off, and then the new growth starts. And you can see a little bit of that on the inside here, where it's got some branches that just don't have anything. But in the past, this thing's, just about stripped itself bare. Now these are in the hothouse. I have had these in, this one in particular's been outside for a winter, or for a few winters actually. But I decided, and it survived, but I decided to bring it into the hothouse just to accelerate the growth on it and get it nice and big and strong. This is the grafted one, which is in the middle of a leaf cycle. And you can tell the difference between the mature leaves and the young leaves by the colour of the underside of the leaf. Now when the younger leaves actually have like a golden tinge. You see, I don't know if you can sort of see that metallic golden tinge there. And when they mature, it actually goes to like a red metallic tinge like we have here. Or there's a good example of, you can see the different colours. They actually go red, metallic red, and then they darken up like this, and then they drop off. I have had them wilt and drop off. Just they can sort of dry up and drop off, or sometimes they can just go like really droopy and then just defoliate altogether, and then the new growth starts again. But this one actually went through its leaf cycle just before winter, so all this new growth here, all this, the yellowy sort of metallic growth, all this stuff here, this is all pre-winter defoliation, and then these darker ones are the ones that hung on before winter. In the past, I've never had them drop their leaves that early. It's usually in the heart of winter that they drop their leaves. So it was, I was actually relieved that it was doing it earlier rather than later. But eventually, you can see these other ones will drop off. Now, realistically, these things really need, anything below 8 degrees and they have a bit of a carry-on, they will survive, down down to low temperatures, below 5, not a problem. But they'll have a fair whinge about it. We had a really cold winter. I had my seedling outside, and temperatures were dropping below 3 degrees, down into 0 a few, and it survived just fine. So I don't think it's impossible. I did have it wrapped in 3 frost cloths, and I had a heat mat around the base as well. But I had a thermometer inside the frost cloths, and it's still got pretty cold in there. So I think if you really want to make something work, anything's possible if you set your mind to it. I think that this is almost at the age now where I could probably put it outside and protect it through winter, and it'd probably defoliate and then come good. So I think it'd probably survive outside now. It's at the age now where I probably could put it in the ground, but I think it's probably going to ultimately slow it down and set it back. So I'm going to leave it in a pot and protect it in my heated hothouse for as long as I can, to give it a real good head start and get big and strong. This one here, the Elva, I'm thinking of probably leaving this as a small tree and keeping it in a small pot, and just seeing if I can maybe not bonsai it, but try and keep it small and see if I might be able to maybe even get it to bear fruit in this hothouse. We'll see. There's no guarantees, but it's getting very squashy in here midwinter. A lot of this stuff will come out in spring, but it is currently 29 degrees in here. Humidity is not high, and if we look at outside, it's 12 degrees outside, so big difference. But so that's the Caimito, or star apple, the old style seedling with caramel flavours, and the more modern flavour profile, the Elva. Yes, they can survive here in Melbourne, guys. It is very much doable. This one's a testament to that. This is years of growth, obviously with protection, but it's very much doable. These are nice and glossy because I actually had an issue with ants and scale, so I've actually hit it with some eco oil, which has stopped them. And I've also got some of these ant rid bait stations down in the base there. But that's probably another thing to mention, is they do, obviously, scale and a lot of pests, they always prey on the weak. And even though these do look healthy, they are out of their element. And it's trees that are pushed to their limits that are obviously going to be suffering from things like scale and so forth. So, and that's obviously going to cause the tree to decline when it's already under stress from being outside of its natural climate. So I think that's another key here, is make sure you keep your pests under control on all trees, but in particular your tropicals, because they're already fighting just to survive without the added stress and pressure of dealing with other pests and disease and so forth. So if you can take anything away from this, it's anything's possible. You can protect them with a heated hothouse, or even just a frost cloth, maybe a heat mat, for a propagation heat mat will help more if you were wanting to do that. Make sure you keep your pests under control, and don't be scared with a bit of defoliation. because they will grow back, and sometimes it doesn't even hurt to force it to defoliate. If it starts to have a bit of a whinge and it's drooping a bit, sometimes just ripping the leaves off can encourage it to push on new growth. So that's another thing you can do. And obviously, don't overwater and don't over fertilise, especially this time of year. But that's about it, guys. So this is the Caimito. Beautiful, beautiful trees. Probably one of the most ornamental trees I think there is. Such a beautiful tree. But, yeah, let me know what you think, and give us a like if you liked it, and I'll catch you next time.